My Mogatso Yokar, a warm welcome to all our CCR TV viewers. आयचो आमचो program जातलो. It is entitled Playing with Fire, the Arpora Inferno. We all know that 25 were killed in Goa nightclub Inferno. And all the newspapers, including the Times of India, carried it as the major headlines all over the nation. And it also got international news about this sad tragedy. To share all what has happened and what is going to happen, which is much more important, we have our panelists. We have our advocate MLA, Dr. Ferreira, who is here with us. And we have our old ex-MLA and also an advocate, Dr. Radharao Gracias. Then we have got Aam Aadmi Party President, Amit Palekar, advocate, and our former police IPS officer, who was the DG, and he is now retired, and Bosco George. Without much ado, let us find out about this tragedy and how it happened and what is in store for us. And to open this debate, we have Amit Palekar.
So I think we all know what has happened. We woke up on Sunday morning to a sad news that 25 people have lost life in Inferno, which took place at an illegal club called Birch by Romeo Lane. In fact, we all were saddened. We went to after that, I immediately rushed to GMC and I met the victims. One of whom was a budding doctor. He just passed out from the college and he had come to Goa to celebrate him becoming a doctor, and his celebration turned into a tragedy. And I think all the credit, I'm saying credit because the credit goes to BJP for destroying Goa and bringing it to this stage where we don't know what's in store. What about the safety of Goans and the people who are visiting Goa? In fact, there were various statements that were made, and it's unfortunate that till today I fail to understand why CM has not yet visited the victims. But when I heard it from the victims' mouth as to what happened and the contradictory statements that were being made, it is very unfortunate that the government has come to a stage where it is complete administrative failure. The victim told me that it took 1 minute for the fire to spread and there was no escape route. They somehow escaped, but those who tried to escape to the basement died out of suffocation. This is unfortunate, but what is most unfortunate is that this club has been running illegally for last 2.5 3 years, and more shocking to us, in spite of the fact that in 2023 there is a complaint filed by the owner against one Mr. Khosla, who is supposed to be running this place along with the current management, that is the Romeo Lane, that is this Luthra brothers. And after that, Panchayat issues demolition orders. There is a stop work notice. In spite of all this, they had excise licenses, or rather the alcohol was being served. Pollution Control Board was sleeping, the police was sleeping, the government administration was sleeping, and the authorities ought to have taken action against this illegal construction, which was right in the middle of a salt pan. I don't know how it was allowed to run. Today, while I am talking to you, I am given to understand that there are another outlet which is called Romeo Lane at Vagator is being demolished. Now, it is shocking for me to say this, that if there was a demolition order against this particular establishment and people have been running from pillar to post to get it demolished, why does it take government a tragedy which loses 25 lives to actually then start demolition? This is absolutely shocking. And now after that, the fiasco after that, if you see, the people who should have been made an accused, the main accused should have been Mr. Surinder Khosla, whose name figures in the notice which was sent by the Panchayat. His name figures in the stop work notice, which clearly shows that he is the one who should have been the main accused, along with Luthra brothers. And they arrest only the managers and announce to the to Luthra brothers that they are coming to arrest them, giving them time to escape. Today they have issued blue corner notice, which should have been red corner notice, because they are wanted. And till now, I fail to understand why Surinder Khosla has not been made an accused when he is known as a British national. The media has come out clearly. I have pointed out yesterday that he should have been named as the main accused, because notices were also sent to him. But police seems to have no clue. The police who have let this club run are the ones who are investigating this crime. and a farce of the magisterial inquiry that has been ordered. I think there is blood on the hands of the Chief Minister and BJP as far as this entire incident is concerned.
Amit, there is one politician who says that this same panchayat and the same sarpanch had given them originally a trade license, and that this sarpanch later on issued the demolition notice.
See, I think it's very clearly understood who are on which side. I think both of them are supporters of each other. Now the friends have turned foes, and then there are crocodile tears. But I fail to understand the MLA, if at all was concerned about the illegal construction, why has he failed to take any action? If the Sarpanch was not listening, there are authorities. The government is yours. The authorities are yours. You ought to have taken immediate action in the matter. But that has not been done. The Chief Minister holds almost all the portfolios which deal with this illegal construction. Yet Chief Minister seems to be quiet, and he is supposed to have suspended 3 of the officials. When what about the police department who has let this place run? What about the excise department who let this place run? Why are they not being suspended? Is there some favors that have been granted to them by these departments, or is there something that is being covered up by the Chief Minister as far as this particular incident is concerned? Whatever said and done, this unfortunate incident is complete corruption cartel that is being run under this BJP government, and Chief Minister is completely responsible for administrative failure that we are seeing in Goa today.
This same problem that existed, it came up in the assembly in April 2025, this year itself, and it was their own MLA, BJP MLA from Mormugaon, who said that such a thing is happening and that action must be taken, for which the Panchayat Minister also replied, but unfortunately nothing seems to have happened. Dr. Carlos?
If you have seen, the assembly unfortunately has become a stage for mockery. It's not like in those days when people debated, the government felt embarrassed and they changed course. Today they either ignore you or they don't reply to specific contentions. I have spoken about corruption, detailing corruption. I'm simply not alleged A is corrupt or B is corrupt. I produced on the floor of the house evidence showing how they corrupt, but nothing has happened. And probably certain officials whom I have named will probably even by the end of this month get extension of service. So you see, this kind of a situation leads us to believe what we have been hearing, that there is a deep-rooted corruption, because unless there is corruption, these things cannot go on. A small punch member or a small police official cannot allow a big club of this size and this type of activity to run without getting blessings from someone right on the top. And everyone knows that there is a channel for giving the money, and that the money reaches right on the top. There are even figures and slabs being indicated how much you give for what. This is the way Goa is being sold. You and I, if we go and ask for anything, we have to wait for months and years. We have to keep running from pillar to post, get this document, get that document. But in this particular case, as you know, what I have learnt right now is, apparently the property belongs to one Gadi Amonkar, Pradeep Gadi Amonkar. He claims that he has not sold, but he's got some agreement with that Khosla, and that Khosla brought in these Luthra brothers for the purpose of running that establishment. Now, if you don't have a sale deed, then how were all these permissions obtained? If you don't have proper documentation, they make us run and ask us to get NOC from the owners. So how were, and this is a salt pan. Salt pan is eco-sensitive zone. How were permissions granted? The CRZ, recently I saw an order, cleared it. And what kind of grounds that you came late, that there were no proper this thing? This is not the way in which CRZ should have even looked at it. These are eco-sensitive zones where you could not have allowed this to run. But what I'm trying to say is, even if you bring it in the assembly, it is taken in the pinch of salt, or as if to say, I will look into it and nothing is done. Trust me, nothing is done. Even when we have calling attentions, we make motions, they make assurances, and at the end of the day, nothing is done. So this government is thick-skinned. This government is in continuous process of receiving hafta, and if that is stopped, their money stops. And that is why I repeat, even police, I've shown how corrupt police have been there with documents. What happened? That police person whom I named over there was soon after the assembly, posing with Chief Minister at his house for Ganesh Chaturthi along with his father. So you can imagine what is the signal which he is trying to give to his colleagues and his companions, and what is the message the Chief Minister is giving to the state. That now you understand from this that if somebody from outside Goa, we normally use the phrase a Delhi person. I am not necessarily limiting it to Delhi, but I am using the word any person from outside Goa comes to Goa, he gets permission like a breeze. Second thing, I was told yesterday by one very senior officer of the government that these Luthra brothers, this has to be verified of course, have connections in partnership with an IAS officer, and that this IAS officer is the one who controls and connects with the IAS in the local places and the IPS, and that is why they fast track for any permission, make sure the licenses and everything is given in time and fast, and including the police will not take action even if a complaint comes, and they will silence any complaint which comes.
Dr. you said 2 weeks before the fire, the Goa Coastal Zone Management Authority gave their nightclub a clean sheet. The body concluded that the structure was entirely legal since it purportedly fell outside the coastal regulation zone, thereby eliminating any alleged CRZ violations. Is this correct?
One thing is legality and the other thing is CRZ violation. If according to you it fell outside the CRZ area, you simply say I have no jurisdiction to decide. You can't say it is legal. Giving a certificate of legality is like going on beyond the dictate which is given to you, your mandate of taking a decision. That crossing the bar and giving something little beyond shows how, when the officer was asked to bend, was crawling.
Yes.
So this is why I have seen that order. I have seen that final conclusion, especially that is circulating on social media, and I think that sets a wrong tone, a wrong precedent, and it is not necessarily HTL. There are water bodies, and you have water bodies which have also tidal effect. It doesn't necessarily have to be along the coast, but though this is along the coastal stretch, you have even tidal effect internally. So therefore, when it suits you to pass a project, you say it CRZ does not apply. But if the application was made by you or me, CRZ would have been always the objection and the clearance would never have come.
Yeah. Amir Babu, you pointed out about the lapses as far as the police is concerned, and the brothers are no longer there. The fire was taking place after just before the midnight, and early morning they got a flight and they escaped already to Thailand in Phuket. That apart, we know that the Sarpanch was sent a message when he was in a temple and he was asked to come to the police station to meet the PI, which he went. And here is a case where the two brothers who were supposed to be arrested by the police, and no red corner notice was served, and they eluded and they are no longer there. Could the police summon the Sarpanch just orally and ask him to stay in the police station for over half an hour or more maybe, and until and unless the entire population almost of the village, Arpora Nagwa village, came, he was just released. Are there enough procedures in law about the arrest, detention and all such procedures? Our Bosco could maybe throw light on this.
See, I think, it's sad, but it's a fact that the police becomes the face of the establishment in everything. For any incident, it is only the police that becomes the face of it. And having served in the department, I know we are the least involved in setting up any of these things. We are not the licensing authority to give nor we give any permissions, whether it is music, whether it is anything. Everything is with the civil authorities. But when everybody is sleeping, the only authority that is open is the police. So naturally, we become the face of the establishment, and we are the only department which works on a lot of oral instructions. There is the written instructions in all there. In this particular case, now I do not know where is the police coming into this part of this thing. It can come only as far as the music is concerned. Setting up of the thing, all those things, whether it is all those violations. My initial stance only is that the FIR that has been registered is so ambiguous. That's where this thing. So when the ambiguity is, it is given common intention. That is, I think, section of BNS Act. Actually, it should have been a criminal conspiracy under 61, or it should have been abatement to the crime. But these things are not there. Now, what is the police going to investigate? That there was a fire which amounted to culpable homicide, not amounting to murder. You have restricted the police to only this much of a part. So now, who is he going to call? He is going to call the Sarpanch. What is the order and all? Okay, there may be some malified intentions of detaining and all those things over there. I'm not this thing. But when you only restrict it to such a thing and you go on an overdrive and arresting all those other people, nothing is going to come at the end of it.
Yeah, but then is it right? Now tomorrow people are asking, I am at so-and-so place and the police comes and says, you need to talk to our police inspector at the police station. Should one go ahead and go to the police station?
Tell me one thing, the Sarpanch is not some private person. He is a public person. An incident has happened in that particular place. He cannot take up that this thing that, oh, I've been called to you. Otherwise, to ask for favors, you run 101 times to the police station. What is the big thing? You are responsible in your village. This has happened. You are now trying to gain political mileage out of all these things. You were with one party, then you switch on to the other party. That's why I take the Sarpanch's word with a pinch of salt. I don't give credence to it. Not that I'm trying to justify the police action, but I'm saying these people are duplicate peoples and I can't trust them.
Yeah.
So whether he's inside, outside makes no difference to me. These guys lack credibility.
So Advogad Radha, you have heard three eminent persons talk about the incident. What is your take?
किती हमारे जोवित I live quite close to the railway tracks. आणि आमगेल गांवांत किती गाडी येयली न्ही कडाकड करून आवाज येता ती तूं आयकोयना आनी डबल इंजीन ट्रेन आसा तूं सारकें आयकोयना तुका पूण आतां तें गोंयांत जालें तें प्रॉब्लेम आसा डबल इंजीन गवर्नमेंट आहा आनी हिंगा आरपोरा 5 इंजीन आहाय गवर्नमेंट न्यू दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट बीजेपी गोवा गवर्नमेंट बीजेपी जिला पंचायत member BJP, Sarpanch BJP, MLA BJP, all 5 engines are for our BJP. And so they are making too much of a noise. You can't hear what's happening. You see, atki zala, yetor mash alert ahle, they should have paid a little attention to our RG. Last 5 years they have been shouting, man, uzo, uzo, uzo korita ite, lagla uzo ata. Are if these people were not to be deaf, they could have heard that, no? See, unfortunately, this is the position. See what happens, no? Oh, I'm Jovit. See, I have absolutely no faith that this government will do anything for Goa. And for this, the people are to be blamed. You see, yesterday or today, Rani has come to those Mamladars to file the nomination, accompanied by thousands of people, man. Here people have died. This government is irresponsible and hundreds of thousands of people accompany the minister to file nomination paper. What does it show? Why you blame the government? This is the sort of people we have, man. Now let us look at it a little further away. The government has now suspended the director of panchayats, which is completely wrong. You see what happens, you know, what is our procedure? There is a panchayat. Panchayat issues a demolition notice. The moment demolition notice is issued, the aggrieved person has a remedy. The remedy is to file an appeal before the director of panchayats. When it goes to the director, the order normally is you demolish within 15 days, otherwise panchayat will demolish. So you move the appeal And as a matter of course, the director stays that order. He says, you don't execute this order until I have heard and disposed of the appeal. This is routine and this has to be done. Because if you demolish the house pending the appeal, then there's nothing left to be decided. So in this particular case, this particular director, some Harmalkar or someone, I do not see how he could have done anything beyond that. He has acted fairly and properly, and you have no business to suspend him. Because if you suspend him, now what is going to happen is, in the next time, when the moment appeals are filed, these directors will not grant stays. Here the Sarpanch will have a field day. You see, we know what happens in the villages. Sarpanch doesn't like me, he will issue notice. If the Sarpanch likes, like the Luthras, they like them for whatever reason, no demolition notice. I mean, demolition notice was issued in this case. So therefore, the suspension of this particular director, whoever he is totally uncalled for.
It's a lady.
And I demand that she should be reinstated. You can't do that to officers who are acting properly. Now, see what happens is, she has only ordered the stay of the demolition. That is one aspect. Now, if the construction itself is illegal, you should not have allowed the business there. She has not said continue with the business. She has said you don't demolish. So if the excise license is given, if all permissions are given, they should have been withdrawn, and at least all the illegal activities going on there should have been stopped.
Now, who would...
no, it is not the work of the director.
Yeah.
The director in appeal only decides whether that order of the panchayat is right or not. She or he has no right to do anything beyond that. This action, excise license, something is going on illegally, the excise inspectors had to go. Something goes on illegally, some what you call sound music, the police had to go. All these authorities had to go and stop. But no one has stopped. And of all things, you have an MLA there, Michael Lobo. He is all over, man, he is all over. What was he doing? In fact, when I had a look at that picture, my immediate thing was that it is some sort of a cruise ship in the sea. You see, it is surrounded by water on all sides. I do not understand how such a permission could have been granted, or how such a structure could have been built at all, man, there. And it has been built. And mind you, this has happened only in the last structure, I am told, is 2.5 years old. So fortunately, you cannot blame Nehru for that structure. If anyone is to be blamed, it is Shyam Prasad Mukherjee, because it is built now in the regime of Shyam Prasad Mukherjee's party.
Yeah.
So no one seems to be saying that. Everyone is blaming Nehru. And our government here, you know, in Delhi, for parliament, 25 people have died. It's world news. And Lok Sabha discusses Vande Mataram. What sort of government we have, man? What has Vande Mataram relevance in a circumstance like this? This matter should have been taken up. I mean, we are faced with a situation that, for me, these debates also are meaningless simply because no one reacts. The government doesn't react at all. In my younger days, whenever there was an issue, we would come on the roads, whole lot of us, and we would fight. Bosco George was there on the other side. You see, he was doing his duty, we are doing our duty. But despite all my reservations about Congress, I have always disliked them, never got on well with them. I must say that the Congress is a far better government. They did react to people. And it is for this reason that when last Lok Sabha elections came, I went all the way to support Captain Viriatu, because I didn't want BJP to win everything. Because when they get everything, this is what they do. So I do hope people who listen to this debate realize what is wrong and where. And mind you, this is not the only incident of where fire has this. You see, in 3rd May 2025, we have a Jatra at Sirigaon, where a big fire is lit, huge fire, it reaches the sky. But I have never been there, but I am told, and it is believed, that all the trees in the surrounding are not even one leaf catches fire, because there is something divine about that fire. And after the fire blows away, people walk through those coals unscathed. But this government that we have killed 7 or 8 of them and injured almost 80 through a stampede. Man. You can't do basic things. One fire there, after the fire you kill people. Here in the fire, 25 people are killed. And soon after that, there's a fire at that Serendipity festival in... So nothing works here, man. Nothing works.
And they say that had not been blown up by the national press and international, all this would not have been even heard.
They care a damn for the national international press. I have never seen a government as irresponsible and as reckless as this one. And those Luthra brothers deserve to be brought back, and something I will normally not say for a lawyer, kept inside indefinitely. There is an incident, there are deaths for which in your own premises, and you run away there, you should have been here. Arrest or not, you should have been here supervising, seeing what has happened, and somehow taking care of those people who are injured and all. You should have been here.
They say that is a failure from the police.
No, he is not. I am not talking of failure of police. Police failure is there. As human beings, was it not duty cast on them, morally and otherwise, to be present here, to provide assistance if required?
No,
you are running away of all places to Phuket.
Yeah.
You are enjoying themselves. Phuket is the place known for that.
Yes.
These people have to be brought and kept in indefinitely.
Because one of them is a brilliant gold medalist engineer who turned into a promising and fastest growing restaurateur, had racked up even a Forbes industrial feature. Even the Times of India also gave him, and continued functioning despite demolition order, which was subsequently stayed against it. You said it was stayed by the director of Panchayat or whosoever.
Only the demolition order was stayed,
Only, but
not
not
the illegal functioning there.
Yes.
So
And
why blame that?
and they did continue it very spectacularly. So according to Regional Plan 2021, the area is zoned as a salt pen, that's what doctor has talked about it, classified as Eco 1 and is clearly marked as a no development zone.
Yes.
This is a Kazan land. Now Kazan land, what we know, are centuries old engineered ecosystem featuring an intricate network of bunds, sluice gates and fields that manage the tidal wave of saline water. However, a structure mysteriously appears, and even worse, is then permitted to run commercially at the same location. Amit Bab, what do you say about this?
If you remember correctly, I think my last debate was about the mysterious structure which appeared at Old Goa also. I think in Goa, where the government, when we talk about morality, if morality existed and people of Goa believed in morality, this government wouldn't have been in power. BJP wouldn't have been in power. I hope people wake up. Such a mysterious structure had come up in a UNESCO site at Old Goa, which is now we are still fighting a war against that illegal bungalow. This also seems to be another mysterious structure which has come up. Now, if you see what Advocate Radhakrishnan has said, in fact, if those three officials who have been suspended were the authorities which granted permissions or which stayed the demolition order, why selective dismissal or suspension? Why not take action against the police who allowed it to function? It was their duty to stop it. Why Excise Department has not taken action? Why not Excise Commissioner has been suspended? Is it because there is a collusion between him and the top brass of this government and the Chief Minister? These are the questions which I think we need to answer. The structure cannot mysteriously appear unless it has been allowed to appear by the authorities in collusion with each other. And I think this is a classic example of how law has been taken for granted. And I think Goa and Goans have been taken for granted by this government. For sure, there is no doubt about it. And I think when I said the other day, we Goans are shameless because we are electing this shameless government, I think it's time Goans wake up and realize that, we have to now understand this fact that now let's talk about us and no longer these politicians. You take whatever favors that you take for a small percentage point of time, and then you suffer because then you have elected this government for 5 years, and they make you suffer because they believe that you are oblivious to everything. Goans have become oblivious to everything, and I think it's high time Goans wake up and realize this. There is one election which is right here. Dr. talks about Congress. I think you should also look at option of Aam Aadmi Party present here. And we have, I think if I have to remind you and everybody here, I had very categorically stated about the extortion racket that is happening, and that last, in fact, like Dr. said, I spoke with evidence. I gave out names of people also who are doing this extortion, but there was no response from the government. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, these are the same people who have been also agents, I believe, I am told, are in collection of the money which was paid in this particular case also. So now if timely action was taken by the government, which of course they would not do it because they are the ones who are getting benefit out of it, things could be different. Now today all the clubs have been shut for last 3 days. Apparently not a single club has fire NOC. Not a single club in Goa has a fire NOC. Now, how were they allowed to operate? So, who is letting this happen? Now, there is a big, if you go to fire department right now, there is a big queue there. And the officers have gone missing from fire department. So, obviously another window of corruption has been opened. It's just a matter of opening of corruption windows as far as Goa and Goans is concerned. If you ask me, I am also from hospitality industry. It takes me 1 year to take permission, whereas a person now coming from out of Goa who comes with bags of money, they can complete the entire business and keep it ready and operational in 3 to 4 months. Why this treatment to Goa and Goans when we can't operate businesses properly? Entire coastal belt has been taken over by business owners from outside. Those who had the businesses, including the Tito's Lane, the famous Tito's Lane. In fact, if you talk to David of Tito's, if you ask him whether he is interested in continuing business in that lane, he will say no. I have spoken to him. He says no, I don't want to. I somehow want to shut shop and go. If the iconic places like Tito's are thinking in that line, imagine the plight of the other small businessmen of Goa, where they are heading. And don't be surprised that at some point of time you will realize that there is not a single business owner of Goa who survived the kind of the bulldozing money power that these people of businessmen and the ruthless and the arrogant businessmen who are coming into Goa.
You talked about the bungalow at Old Goa.
Yes.
The Supreme Court has ordered that a judge, a retired judge, Judge Edgar has
better
been,
better late than never, I think.
Okay. Now, this government, Pramod Sawant, has asked a bureaucrat and who is the collector and magisterial inquiry. Now, in this whole process, which is politically managed illegalities, because there are top politicians involved in all this, and the bureaucrats are also involved in all this. Do you mean to say another bureaucrat, just because she's an IS, is going to do justice to this type of problem?
Certainly not. It's a farce. It's a farcical inquiry which has been started. First of all, it has to be by a retired High Court judge, at least 2 of them, so that they can keep a watch on this, because the very police department which is supposed to have kept this establishment shut were the ones let it operate.
Yeah.
Very authorities right now who have been asked to investigate in the matter are the ones who have let it remain like that. Fact of the matter is an offence which is of the nature which has been registered, as Sir Bosco has said. I think that is something that does, in that particular addition of the section should have been done long time back. Right now, who have been arrested are only the managers. Now, they are the employees. Now, I am sure as a smart lawyer, I'm a defense lawyer. If I want to defend them, I should get the bail for asking for them, and I should get them discharged from the matter, because their role is an employee. They will say, I was an employee. I was not instrumental in running this place. How do I know the place is legal or not? I have been paid to do some kind of management, and I am doing it. Till today, even after I pointed out yesterday that there is one Khosla to whom the notice has been addressed to, why is Mr. Khosla not been made a party? And I very categorically said that he is a British national and he can easily escape. How do you get him back? Are you going to fight another extradition proceedings thereafter, something like Modi in Malya, or let at this another Khosla to be a Malya? So I don't think proactive action has been taken, and I believe I've heard policemen, the officers saying yesterday that we are not aware of this. From where do we get this? So I mean, where are we heading? Is this Goa banana republic?
No, that's why they say that it is Delhi's audacity. It is surviving in Goa. That's what you
will be surprised. In fact, while we were mourning deaths of 25, Romeo Lane was advertising in Ranchi. 3 people of Ranchi lost their life in this, and they were advertising that open to new sunsets, Romeo Lane in Ranchi. Imagine the guys escape, and while they have escaped, they are advertising for opening their place in Ranchi, where 3 people from Ranchi lost their life. This is the unfortunate story of this.
If we go by what has happened, actually, it was a Kazakh performer dancing to Mehbooba. Fireworks went off all around her. Pyrotechnics for the Saturday night crew. A bright burst of sparks catches fire at the thatched roof above the DG booth, causing the orchestra and dancer to scramble. An highly fellow was toxic. He said, "Aapne to aag laga diya." That means you have set fire on the stage. Birch by Romeo Lane is a prime example of how Delhi's audacity combined with muscle money and entrepreneurial powers succeeds in Goa. How is this being allowed to go ahead?
The audacity of these people, you would remember an advertisement by what was, I think, the house of Abhinandan Lodha. Of course, then Abhinandan Lodha said that we are not connected with it, but the advertisement was this: Delhi rulers of India now conquer Goa.
Yes.
And that caused an outrage in Goa, and the government had directed them to remove that, take off that advertisement.
Only that word now should have been deleted.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's factually correct. No?
Right.
Delhi rulers conquered Goa.
Yeah. So now, why I'm saying this, it was an open assertion of what was going on behind. And that open assertion is because, if you look at it, even my friends from Delhi, they have told me that when we come to Goa, we find the same neighbors which we have been bumping into in the beaches of Goa, in the restaurants of Goa, and we don't feel like coming to Goa because we want to escape them and we are meeting them here again. So you see what is happening, and the culture is that they come and try to give you some fanciful names for restaurants, and they think they're giving you something exclusive at very high prices. Let's be honest, Goa, for its sand, for its sea, for its beaches, and for the local food, was so much appreciated. There were fishermen who had rooms to let, where the foreigners came and stayed there. Tourists came and stayed in the rooms of this. The fishermen's houses. They ate shitkori. They ate our local food. You didn't have to bring Thai food and some Chinese food and all. Everybody ate Goan food, and Goa was appreciated. Goa was loved. We want that Goa. We don't want Goa to be some part of Singapore or part of some Hong Kong or something over here in Goa. We want Goa just to be Goa. And this is what is happening, as you asked this particularly. This kind of a Delhi culture which is coming to rule, let me be honest with you, is coming along with the bureaucracy. Because we have bureaucracy, sorry, I don't mean you, but the IAS and the IPS lobby, which comes from Delhi especially, and they have set sites on lands in Goa. They have set sites as real estate brokers. I even heard certain particular IAS officials who kept certain officers of the government in certain collectorates to scrutinize documents so as to see where they could get properties, either for themselves to buy or for others to buy, where they were acting as brokers. And this is why things have gone downhill. Now, the question is, for us, we have to keep on asking RTIs and finding out. I have also shown how these fraudulent documents, by inserting pages or making documents with back dates, those using old paper, pen and all that, total frauds. But you look at that, what is the span? What is the span? Ever since the BJP came into power in Goa, we have a rise of these cases, where not only the politicians themselves, the ruling politicians, have been themselves brokers, have been themselves indulging and dabbling in real estate. They have been selling Goa directly or indirectly. But even the henchmen who hang around them, they are brokers. Now, whether you want an excise license, whether you want a job in the government, you understanding what I'm saying? It has been such a scandal, cash for jobs. Why did it happen like this? And that is under the BJP government. You call it double engine, triple engine, I don't know what is going on. That is why it is symptomatic, and in one sentence, the BJP is selling Goa piece by piece. And one more thing I just want to say. What Advocate Radharao Gracias exactly said is that I had mentioned that yesterday, and day yesterday, that the difference between stay on a construction demolition is different from stay on operation. Please remember this difference between the two. When the director of Panchayat stays the demolition, the director of Panchayat has no jurisdiction to say, but you continue operations. That's not even the mandate of the section under the Panchayat Raj Act. Only stays the demolition. It was the bounden duty of the other authorities to see there is a standing order of stay, and even if there is a standing order of demolition, though it may be stayed, but how do you operate? That is the second part of it. And that, I think, if that was stopped, I think this tragedy would have been averted.
So the bureaucrats themselves are involved in this tragedy.
See, and what I want to say this, now it is not a gentleman, it's a lady. Siddhi Halankar is the director of Panchayats. And apparently she must have passed the order, therefore they must have suspended. And what I agree with Advocate Radha Rao is, when we file an appeal, we ask for a stay. Of course, you must give justification when you pass even an ex parte or temporary order of stay, why I am satisfied. And generally it is, the appeal becomes infructuous, therefore the stay is given. But the stay cannot be given indefinitely. It has to be time bound.
Yeah, but that this indefinitely, what people know, unless topmost politicians are involved, that this delay does not happen, and unless money is bribed, and today is big money, it's not small money.
See, it looks, politicians' involvement, I will tell you, are two ways. And that is generally ruling politician, not us in opposition.
Yes.
In opposition, we are just totally ignored, or we have absolutely nothing which we are allowed to do. But when it is the ruling politician, there can be two ways. One is you are fixed or you are protected.
Yeah, in this case, it looks too obvious.
You understand? It can be, you can be fixed because you're my enemy, so I go and demolish your house, or you've done something against me, so I will finish you. Or the other one is, I'm in the getting my monthly hafta, and therefore, or I've got my bakshish, and therefore I'm with you, and therefore you need to be protected. This is the way the system seems to be working.
Yeah.
So it works right from the top. You see, I'll tell you one thing. People cannot feign ignorance. Now, we don't go to that side, and I'm not a person who visits clubs, nor do I go and dance in clubs or even go and have food or anything like this in clubs. So I don't go around checking. That's not my constituency too. So I'm not going. Truly, I'll tell you one thing. To go from my side, even to go to Kalangut, it takes about 20 to 30 minutes with all the traffic. To come to Panjim, it takes me about 35 to 40 minutes. Can you believe, from Kurzweil?
Yes.
So I sometimes think whether to go or not.
Yeah.
And therefore, unless it is extremely urgent, I don't go. And if we go, we may go for a wedding or something in the night, and that time we don't look at all these things. So, had we known, had I seen, then probably we could have raised questions, we could have asked the locals, and we would have probably taken action. Right now, as we speak, before I entered the studio, I got somebody from Kavelosi telling me how a matter exactly like this, on a salt pen, an illegal construction has been made. 6 years the matter is pending for stay before the director of Panchayats, and operations are running on it. Apparently some club, I don't know whether it's a nightclub or what, or a restaurant or what is running. I asked him, send me the details, we will definitely take it up.
No, but this is happening all over Goa.
No, now therefore I say one thing. Today, look at what you spoke just now, asking about a magisterial inquiry.
Yes.
I don't believe that a magisterial inquiry will do any justice. It will be more a cover-up, and it will be like you scratch my back and I scratch your back. That is all what will come out of this magisterial inquiry. And then they will say it's a system failure. I'm telling you, wait for it. System failure. Nobody will be blamed, and they will give some suggestions on what should be done in future course of action.
But can you bring back this 25 lives?
You cannot. But what I'm saying is, unless see, there is law, the law is good. If you don't implement the law, let us give an example, simple example. Sound pollution law is good, but if it's not implemented, it is ineffective.
But again, sound pollution law, they say the police acts at the
No, that's what I'm saying. If you don't act, therefore there's a failure.
Yeah.
It's not that the law is not good. It's not that there is no law. So therefore, similarly, even in this case, if a big enterprise is running of a nightclub, do you want to tell me the fire department was so oblivious that one thing is running? Do you mean to say the fire department, let us assume a case that they gave permission, they never inspected it, they only put conditions in the license, you have this exit, that exit, and you will have this number of cylinders and all fire extinguishers, but you don't go to check whether it's there, they are working or not, you don't do anything. You ask them for self-assessment, and finally you make sure.
No, that's not true.
That's wrong. If at all they never had it, did you not pass by and see what is going on, and none of your people gave you a report that there is a club running and how it's not in our list that they've got any clearances, so therefore we must give notice? Could it not happen? So you're understanding what I'm trying to say. Or somebody was getting something to keep quiet.
This is what people say today in Goa. This is the corruption has reached so high levels that today is not money, it's a big, big, big money.
And now look at it. Now I don't want to generally. I normally, you notice, I don't make allegations, but here I have to make allegations. The Home Department is with the Chief Minister. Excise Department is with the Finance Minister, which is Chief Minister. The Fire Department is with the Chief Minister. The CRZ is with the Chief Minister. Panchayat is of course with Morbin Goodino. What does one have to think with that?
But it is nothing but is a big money.
See,
That
what
is-
happens now, Jovit?
Yeah.
See, the whole problem is, as far as I am concerned, North Goa is gone. And there's a reason for that. You see, if you look at the opinion poll 1967, the people of North Goa are the ones who wanted Goa merged with Maharashtra, overwhelmingly. It was we, the people from South, who saved Goa. Look at the results. And we are people who react immediately the moment something goes wrong in the South. But that is still yesterday. Now the South is in Swindon and London. There are not too many people left in my neighborhood who will come out and stand up and fight. As a young man, I would give a call, and I would, on my call, I had ability to get at least 100 people, young men from all over, to come and stand up with me. And I would do that. Today, I am grown old. Most of my contemporaries are old, and either they are dead or they are not here. Younger people do not respond, even in the South. North Goa people never reacted. North Goa people are happy if they are given government jobs. You check the government this roster, fully packed with people from Bisholi, Satari, Pedne, and you don't have to work. You come and sit in government office, you don't even come. Collect your salaries at the end of the month. This is what is wrong with North Goa. Sadly, the South is also joining that mainstream now. You see, you can't simply go on blaming politicians. Every person in North Goa wants a government job. You see that fish market, new complex, Penjim Market complex.
Yes.
I used to go there because when my book was being published, there's someone for that publisher who would do that. So I went on top, and that fellow's name was Rama Harmalkar. He was doing that.
Typesetter.
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 He was of Broadway. It was confusing place. I didn't get one man there. One man who would speak Konkani man. Once I went on top. So I said, Hindi, Urdu mata. And then I asked Rama, this is a new building. How did all these people get these premises? तो किती सांगचे हे सगळे आमचे लोकाले premises. आमचे लोकाले. ते सगळे भाड्यान दिले. सगळे घराक 10-15 हजार घेता आणि बसताय. काम करपाक कोण तयार ना. This is the Goan attitude.
Yes.
So why blame everybody else? See, this is, first we have to correct ourselves. First, this desire for government jobs must go. See, once you give a government job, those MLAs, they go after MLAs, you can't be transferred, you can't take action against them. See, this system of giving government jobs by MLAs to their own favorites should stop. There must be some staff selection commission, subordinate staff selection commission, which will take care of this. Once the government employees are they have to be with the government, otherwise they get in trouble. And no one reacts to me. Now, let us see the law. Now, we are in magisterial inquiries. For what? We have seen the fire. A fire is there. The structure has no licenses, no plan approvals. It is designated as a Kazan land. So everything is established now. What will the magistrate do there? You tell me.
I'll tell you
Why
exactly.
why do you need a magisterial inquiry?
Radhabab, I will tell you exactly why magisterial inquiry.
Yeah.
Will you listen to me?
Yes. But I am here for you to ask questions and listen to me.
Okay. Now I have a question to Amit Bab also.
Yeah.
And both of
But
you.
I'll complete. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Both of you this question. Magisterial inquiry is there. I'll tell you why. You know the Pooja Naik's case? Pooja Naik, no.
Cash for
Job
jobs.
scam.
Job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know Rama Kangunkar's case?
Yeah.
It is closed.
Yes.
It is closed.
See what happens.
So in this case also, it will be closed.
See, I will
Now, I have a specific question to you because you have a political party. Can't you stop this magisterial inquiry and demand a judicial inquiry?
What will a judicial inquiry do? You tell me.
Now,
Why?
now-
Why?
now-
Well, offense is clear. Everything is illegal.
Yes.
Take action, hang them. Why do you want inquiries, man?
Because this collector, you mean to say he's going to act against his own IS and
No,
other
it is not like that. You
I-
call an
I will-
inquiry.
I'll
Just
add to
why
what
I
you said.
complete.
Yeah.
An inquiry is called only when the government wants to obfuscate matters.
Yes.
They want to delay and they don't want to find a solution until the people forget,
Yes.
until the next fire. So what I am trying to say is, since it is a straight visible case, you take action, no inquiry required. What is the inquiry? And what we need is a law here. A law is to formed by the assembly where a duty is cast on whoever runs businesses to deposit with the government some compensation. Today now these people have died. They have gone to wherever,
Yes.
Thailand.
Yes.
And we are paying from our own funds. Now so much of mess is created and they don't even bear the finances.
So compensation has to be paid by them and
No,
not by
there
the
must be a
public,
law. There must be a law here which would mandate that they should pay deposit immediately the moment an incident has occurred.
Wow.
Deposit the money with the government. Government will stand a lot.
And those bureaucrats who allowed this to continue.
See, I'll tell you, see, it's very clear. The law is there, BNS, BNSS, everything exists. The acts are defined, the sections are defined, what constitutes the ingredients of the sections are defined. The acts are there. Actually, what has happened, there was a fire due to negligence which caused death. Everything is there. The people who are involved in this, their names are there. So what for magisterial inquiry? Magisterial inquiry is usually for those cases where you need to do fact finding. There is no fact finding here. This is a matter of investigation by the police.
So this is a cover up that.
Absolutely, are trying to try to cover
doesn't
up because the
require
police. In fact is now police are going to investigate their own. So that is one part of it. One other part of it, the real culprit. I am not understanding till today that the notice has been issued to somebody who is supposed to be the owner of the place. Why has he not been made an accused till now? I mean, what are the police waiting for? So what have the fact finding committee done so far? In the last 24 hours, somebody escaped, somebody is being allowed to be escaped. This is complete farce. Right now, what BJP government and Chief Minister is doing is a complete farce, is a face saving, so that Jilla Panchayat elections are over, people will forget. This is what Goa has been doing, Goans have been doing. They are forgetting, they are forgiving, and BJP believes that forgetting and forgiving is the way Goans are.
Ultimately, people get what.
I mean, at the end of it, understand, another few days later, if some incident of this type of happens, may God forbid, you know, it could be their children, it could be our children, it could be us in that place. Imagine the fire at Serendipity Festival had happened when the festival was on.
And I believe this same fire at Kalak had happened also
Last
last
year.
year.
1 year back.
Last year. Am I
Now,
right?
Jovit,
Yeah.
as Carlos says, the owner of this land is some Pradeep Gadi Amonkar. Now, he ought to be pulled up first. That he has entered into an agreement with someone else is not relevant. Illegal structure has been built there in his property by someone else, but thing is illegal.
He's gone to court.
He may.
No, he's gone to
He's
court
gone
for
to
that, for illegalities.
Yeah, he has gone to court. Apparently, he has gone to court.
But what was the agreement with that fellow?
No, I don't know the
To
agreement.
make
He has
prawns
gone-
there. See, it is only could be used for prawn farming.
Yeah.
If that is not the agreement, that means that Pradeep Gadi Amonkar has done some Gadi pond there. की त्याला गाडी pond चाललं का? नाहीच काय जात नाही. अरे you are.
No,
You
Dr.
go to.
one thing is that first of all there is no transfer of title, yet documents have been used to probably create structures, which is shocking to me. Like if I have an agreement from you being a title, you
That's
are
what
title
I'm
holder,
saying.
how am I supposed to get licenses without the authority
That
of
is
the
the
owner?
question.
Exactly.
So that is
What-
the biggest
You know,
question.
this thing, submission was only this, that if a judicial inquiry needs to be done, then it is to look into all these lapses.
These
Correct.
lapses.
I would
Not
agree.
for this.
No, not.
And,
exactly.
and the other thing, as far as the investigation is to take place, it should be court monitored rather than reporting to any of
Absolutely,
this.
absolutely.
If these two things are done, only thing, then some semblance of justice can be seen to the.
There have been so
I
many
also-
inquiry commissions,
Yeah.
nothing has happened. Doctor. You also know, I know, everyone of know. Assembly has been asking for so many questions. I think as an MLA, you have tabled, our MLAs
We have
asked.
asked repeatedly for that Jadhav committee report
Correct.
on those fraudulent deeds which that commission was appointed, or those sale deeds which were all illegal. You bring a law by placing reliance on it, but till today we have not seen that report.
Half of those properties have been sold in last 3 years.
That is why, because this is the suspicion we have, that the government has facilitated the sale of those properties to their cronies.
But Jovit, before I conclude, you see, you can't simply go on blaming the government for this. See, we have a government and we have opposition parties. And there's a duty cast on the opposition parties to make public grievances. And in this, our political opposition parties have failed. When we were in the opposition, we were in the forefront. Matale, bitode kale, mar patalo. No, now I will tell you, I am accusing both of you. No, I am accusing both of you. On this issue, there is need right now to go there, organize meetings, and activate the people, man. If we all sleep, who will activate the people?
So
The
this
people
time
have to
people
be
are
aroused.
No,
No,
I
but
think
we have to arouse them.
people have
Yeah.
aroused, people have
People
put
have-
up.
people
It's
have-
not
this
that
There
time
is,
for sure.
there
This
is
time for
need
sure.
for massive public
Yeah,
meetings.
correct.
You see,
No, see,
people
we have an unfortunate timing of ZP elections.
So how does that affect?
No, then
You use
if
it.
we take our forces that side
Yeah,
and
yeah.
start having meetings there, rallies this side, our
Don't take your
campaign will
forces
be
there.
do-
Go and
We
take
will
those
not,
people
Doctor,
there.
one thing I can assure you as a president of this party and as a Goan, I can assure you that we will not let this die down just like that. We will take government to task, not just today, tomorrow, but until...
No, taking government to task on TVs is all right. I've
No,
been
no,
doing
not
it for
TVs,
long.
not
On
TVs,
the
on
streets.
site, on
We
site.
have to be on the streets.
Second part.
Let us go, no?
Second part, I just want to, we'll come to that. The second part of it is this. You see, now that this incident has taken place, and we know that all shortcomings were flowing from the type of nature of the land on which it was. The question now is, you are asking for a magisterial inquiry, and that magisterial inquiry, we know what it will look into. But what other action will the government take qua all establishments which are operating in Goa, commercial establishments, because people are coming in and people are going out. So these large commercial establishments which are operating, which are either on tenanted land or built illegally. You understanding what I am saying? Because one is building and the case going on, the other is allowing them to operate.
Commercial.
Commercial.
Yes.
Commercial. I think the government should immediately issue a fiat directly ordering closure of these establishments if there is no construction license.
Correct.
And I think things will fall in place, and you will see that large number, virtually 90% of them will not be run by our Goans. They may be owned by Goans, but not run by our Goans. You understanding what I'm saying?
That is what is already happening.
And that's what, when Radha mentioned that when he went to the market and he found in the Panjim market that places allotted to the Goans were being given to others, I will tell you something. I believe, I don't know the answer to it exactly, but I believe that large number of Goans are actually harassed. There is corruption from the market inspector, from everybody.
Who are also goons.
Yes,
Ah.
yeah.
But they get
But
the
there
money.
is corruption.
They get big
But
money.
there is corruption. So what happens to meet that, the little money they make? Now the other day I heard shopkeepers telling me that when we went around the shops, they said the little money we were making, now we have to pay chartered accountants for GST returns and all which you are doing. So you see, people are getting exhausted running small businesses.
So the corruption has become the order of the day.
We can't do
Absolutely.
I will point. You see, I am member of a housing society. Every year we get our audited accounts, and I sometimes have minor look at it. There is, 2-3 years I saw 10,000 rupees, some miscellaneous. So I question, where is this 10,000 going for? What miscellaneous? They are sort of. I said, I want to know. Sir, he said, we have to. Our building has those gas fire fighting cylinders.
Hydrants, yeah.
Hydrant, those cylinders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now those cylinders have to be renewed every year, and after renewal you have to get clearance from the fire department. So every year if you do not deposit 10,000 rupees, you don't get a clearance. They don't even come. You deposit 10,000, you don't even bring new cylinders. They give you. In Margam I am telling you, and if they want proof I will show them. This is what is happening. I am talking of fire service. You pay them 10,000 rupees per renewal, your thing is home delivered. Every society does that, you check.
Yeah,
And if the chief minister wants, tell him to hold an inquiry, and I will show him all societies who pay this money to the fire officers.
To Bosco, we know that in the past, I don't know what's happening now, postings in the coastal zone police stations were in high demand, and then they said money would take place.
It's unfortunate, although I don't have any personal experience, because when I got my posting, it was by default. I was in fact called out as ADC to the governor and directly told to take charge of SP North. But I knew that some of our officers used to use the influence, but whether they paid money or not, I don't know, to the local MLAs at that point. But I made it very clear, and at that time they were also this thing, that if the local MLA gives you an instruction, and if I give you an instruction, you bloody well listen to my instruction, because mine will prevail. Otherwise, I'm not bothered, because those minor things, But today, if you go to see, it has become something, such a mixed baji. Panjim police station, which needs a massive, this thing. I think they are not able to maintain their sanction strength. And there are some police stations in the interior and coastals which are over and above the sanction strength. So, I mean, clean up that mess first. Give that authority to the DG. I mean, it's totally taken over by the political.
But the authority for them is taken over by the local MLA.
That's what I'm saying.
DGP is a rubber stamp.
Yeah.
Right?
No, that's what I'm saying. One of the greatest weakness of the police department is why we are forced to listen to the political leadership is because under Section 3 of the Police Act, it says very clearly the superintendence of the police will lie with the state.
Yeah,
So if the state is going to give you instruction, why if he is going to write the DGP's ACR and everybody's ACR, then what is he going to do?
No, but tomorrow if he does not listen to the politician, he is transferred immediately to JRP.
I will only say you have also been a police officer, but the things were different.
Yeah.
The rules were same.
No,
so it's just a matter of character of the department right now. That's what is more questionable.
That is one part. Yeah. Only thing it is, like Dotur said, during Congress regime, they would never challenge you back. Yeah. Now it is, I mean, they would listen to you. They would
do something.
Yeah, and do something. And I mean, we could afford to tell them, because I have been in fix as a spin-off when I told them, if this I have to investigate in this particular manner. If you don't want it, either you remove me from that place or you take the investigation and give it to someone else. But if it is with me, it has to be. Today, if I was there, I would have been a disaster.
But I agree with what Dr. Kalus has said. This IAS, IPS who come from Delhi especially.
You're right. I'll give you, when Dr. said it, I will say, when some senior, because I was an IPS officer, so used to say, boss ko sir, either land है बेचने के लिए. I said, sir, मैं खुद मेरे को लैंड लेने के लिए मेरे कोई प्रॉब्लम होता, मैंने आज तक कभी देखा नहीं. And I don't know, I'm not in that land. But yes, you are right. Yeah, and like he said, they are become actually commission agents of the people from Delhi.
I'm reminding you about what happened to the chief secretary who had purchased a bungalow in your own constituency. Now, he committed such a big crime. What happened to him? So now you have a magisterial inquiry by another IAS officer. Can't you all mobilize the entire Goa and to say that stop this?
You bring up to power.
We'll have to go on this thing.
I think you must bring Aam Aadmi Party to power.
There are some things which we can go judicially. The other things we will have to hit the street.
Yeah.
And I think as soon as we can gather the forces, because we need our schedules to be clear, then I think rather we will need not only your connect, your wit and intelligence, so that we know how to strike. Because we have to get everyone together. It is irrespective of a political party. This is for the good of Goa.
We are all in this with
Jovit,
you, all of us together.
You were talking of postings in coastal police stations.
Yes.
I'll tell you something. You see, I had learned from the police themselves that the most sought police station was Kole, not a coastal police station.
No longer. Right now mining is not there. So this
maybe.
So there is a connection.
Now it's
maybe Kole police station was the most sought after.
No, now it's only
some years ago. I am talking.
Yeah, yes, back.
Yes. And I asked him. Check post.
Yeah, but then,
per this so much money was coming in.
But at the end, there is a circular logic, that is what they say, with most of the things in Goa's development story. It lies, they say, in what one calls politically managed illegalities. And this is from their ruling, not the other ones. The well-connected demonstrate their power in terms of their ability to set the government's agenda. This is what they say. Or when they are faced with scrutiny, the powerful demonstrate a capacity to ensure non-decision making, that is endless delays, condonments, inconclusive inquiries, and nothing gets resolved and violations persist in their business. Cannot this be changed? Jodhpur?
See, what happens, it has become systemic now. So for that we need a total overhaul through elections. Through elections by bringing an entirely new government, and yes, this new government should be willing to use its powers to remove summarily 20 police officers, 20 deputy collectors, 15 mamlatdars, and so many officers of different government. Straight away, without any inquiry. Then only things will fall in place, which is permitted under the law.
Amit Bab, tu kya manta hai?
Otherwise, same thing will continue.
I mean, see, what happens is you have to have political will and political good intentions to rule correctly. I mean, Goa has seen various governments, and I think we haven't seen as worse a time as we see today.
Yes.
I think it's time that Goans rise more importantly than anything else, because it's the Goans who will make a difference to Goans. Nobody else bothers. The politicians who are in power don't care anymore of Goans. And I think it's high time. Ami zaga zaina ni. They're like, I am ittale.
But then it is the electorate.
No, it is not. It is like that monkey. I can see that soft toy which is there.
Oh, okay.
If you want to be like that soft toy which is going to be lying in the corner and look at what is happening, or turn a Nelson's eye, blind eye to whatever that is happening around you, may God bless us all. But Goa is a blessed place. Goa is blessed place
But
because
it's losing its total character.
I have not lost hope. I have not lost hope because I believe Goans will rise and Goans are rising. Let's hope to see that this December.
Dr. Carlos?
You see, I am going to give you something how the corruption is so deep rooted. I'll just give you one example which shows you, if you go to a police station to make a complaint, the grievance we hear from the complainant is, after they have reached there, they phone the opponent and they were setting with the opponent. Unlike trying to find out the truth, arrive at something and give justice. So if at the police station this kind of incident happens, people lose faith in the police. And then you have law and order which breaks out, because then people want to take law in their own hands, because they know that if they go to the police station, it will be no justice, and going to court also will be a long drawn affair. You just remember one simple incident. Do you remember in Satari, there was an incident in an outpost where a man went to complain of loud music or something being played. And what happened? The entire mob came from there, accosted him, put his vehicle on fire, his vehicle was burnt. And in that fear, he never even filed a complaint. You understanding what I am saying? How did they know that he was there giving a complaint?
So
it had to be someone from inside who is informed outside. You understanding? They could have taken the complaint, they could have gone there and taken action. It was not allowed. It was like, might is right. So therefore, I also believe that everything is not over. Goa still lives, and Goa is crying, and Goa awaits a rejuvenation to allow its survival. I still have a hope that we can stop this kind of destruction, but people must gather together, because even we simply shouting, let me be honest, how much can we go on TV or social media and make noise? How many times can we approach court? And sometimes in court it is so long drawn out. And there are some matters which are justiciable and some are non-justiciable. Today, if you go, I will tell you one thing really which is going on. Somebody marched to the Chief Minister's residence. You remember that Rama Kankonkar attack. What were they doing? The crime branch was busy profiling who came and who was not there. And then they were trying to find out so as to call you, make you sit at police station, make you accused, or threaten your brother, sister, father, anybody. And this is the manner in which Hitler was working, is this government is working. So nobody wants to come out.
Bosco Bob, normally people are not very happy with the way that the police acts or reacts.
Yeah, see, the root cause of like how he said regarding this information of the police station going to this thing. MLAs are deciding which candidate they want as their choice of officers. Now, where will his allegiance lie? It will not be with the department. It will lie with his local MLA, because whatever the local MLA wants,
We have
that
no
is
say.
decided. No,
Opposition has no say. Which MLA.
In
Opposition,
general,
yeah.
When you use the word
my-
MLAs, yes.
ruling
But
dispensation.
this is what is happening. So that's what I said. Restore back DG's powers. That let him decide. During our time, I remember Arvind Gavas as a probationer. A new police station was opened in this thing. What is that? Kolba. DG did not even have to consult. He said, "Okay, you stood first in the academy. You go and take charges." This thing. I mean, that was this thing. Today it has become a different thing. Today. Poor DG can't even change one constable from that place. So bad it has become. So until it is restored back those things, or any revolution takes place, or the new wings, new faces come and think about it.
Radhabab, to sum it up, what do you think is the way forward now for us to restore whatever little Goa's pride is still there? That's what you said.
So what happens, according to me, as Kalu said, it can be restored, but not just by lying down. You see, the people are generally what I would call, they don't react unless they're aroused and forced. That is the work of political parties. See, the BJP came to power by that India Against Corruption movement.
Yes.
And that they have become more corrupt is secondary story. But they launched that movement, instigated the people, and then grabbed power. Goa needs a movement of that type. That's what I was saying.
आप
And-
काम करो ना तो movement.
100% hope.
No,
prayers
AAP
and
is also
revolution.
an offshoot of that movement.
Yes,
But we are not
AAP took
corrupt.
benefit of India Against Corruption.
Exactly, but
we,
then-
we are not born out of corruption.
No, but they were also they came out of that.
Yes.
But anyway, that we will not go into that. The whole thing is we need a movement which will arouse the people. People are always there. They have to be aroused and guided in the proper direction. Now, are we prepared to do that, or are we just waiting like the Congress did yesterday till the very last moment to announce their Zilla Panchayat candidates? Till the last day, man, today they announced. Now, is that the way to do? You go out now. Let us activate the people. Once the people know that there is some leadership who is going to back them, I am 100% sure Goans will come and there will be a change in government.
But people say that there's no good leadership now.
Absolutely, there is lack of good leadership.
Amit Bab.
No, I don't. I disagree on that front. I think there are very good leaders. I would say Advocate Kalush is there. I am there. Venzi is
No,
there.
leaders
Cruz is
are there sleeping at home.
No,
I am
no,
talking
certainly
about
not.
arousing people, getting them on the streets
so-
and marching.
I think that
Yeah.
is what we did when Ramakant Konkar's issue happened. I think we were the ones who were in forefront in.
But
taking
that
this
is
time.
over now.
that
No,
was
that
small
the
thing, small
problem is the people of Goa have become oblivious to what.
Yeah, even this now,
So
magistrate
I think
inquiry,
Goa
nothing will come out.
needs Goa needs three things: hope, prayers, and revolution. This is what I said. I'll repeat it again. Hope, prayers, and revolution is what Goa needs, and I think we will be that revolution very soon. And Goa is getting towards that revolution because I think it has become, it has come to a stage. It has become intolerable. Either we will survive or Goans will perish in our lovely Goa, and we will not let that happen.
So, final say, Dr. Carlos.
I still have my hopes that my beautiful Goa will be saved. And I think that that's what I said. Let us all come together across all political parties, irrespective of religion, and remember those good old days. And I'm sure that we need, it's not because of politics, but we need to dislodge this corrupt government, to dislodge the corrupt system. And if we do this, trust me, there will be a lot of confidence. We won't have flight of people from Goa overseas. Many people are going because there's no proper job opportunities. Even if they have, they are being harassed and they are put into cold storage. And then people
You have to pay large sums today to get a job.
To get a job.
Even policemen,
Correct.
constable, this is what you pay. For sub-inspector, this is what you pay. Without that, if you don't have that money, you are lost.
I've told people, if you have money, open a gada and do business instead of being corrupt, because you'll have to first recover that money. Then once you start, you'll say, I need interest. And once you get that kind of momentum, you'll never stop. And one day I'll put you in jail, so don't do that.
Doctor, thank you very much for being with us. Amit Bab,
Thank you.
the last moment we called you and you obliged us.
Always pleasure.
George is Bosco, always with us, also Carl. Thank you very much. And we only pray now to God that He may come to the rescue of our Goa and Goans. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.